Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.D.s here, back with part two of who would love to invest in AC Milan. And please forgive my poor memory possibly due to my dyslexia or whatever. But I love what you think. I can't remember if I asked this before, but please let me know what you think. If it looks better, if my videos look better with the ring light, if it makes that much difference or whatnot. I'd hear your feedback on that. And one of my sisters got me this ring light, so I'd love to know how effective it is, if it really gives better lighting or whatnot. As ever, I'd love to hear your feedback on that. And I forgot to say in the intro for part one about how today I wanted to do quite a few videos and like have a relaxing day where I just make videos. If I could, I'd probably make videos all day, but I do get wary about whether I bore people or whatever. But I wanted to make some videos about AC Milan and Inter Milan as a fan of Italian football generally, and with my quirky mad ways. But also, I was thinking of Monza, but with Monza, I can't think of who I would like to invest into Monza or co-own Monza. The only company I can think of is like I think it has a ring to it, like Monza Monopoly. And again, due to my patterns and alliterations, like M.O., both of them start with M.O. But Monopoly is owned by Hasbro, I believe, so maybe game companies could invest in Monza. I can't think of too many companies that I can think of that I would think would be fitting to invest in Monza. But anyway, I hope you enjoy this video, and if I can get around to it, if not, maybe next week or the week after. But like every Monday, I hope to make these videos about Milan if I can, as a fan of Italian football generally. But yeah, if you give me some feedback about whether this ring light does make a difference, I can sort of see it does seem to bring better lighting. But yeah, I'd love to know. As ever, I'd love to know your tips. I know some people said before my lighting isn't always the best, and I'm probably going to try and start using my phone tomorrow if I can. If I learn how to use it. Anyway, I know I'm not the most tech savvy, so I hope to learn how to connect it together and all that. Sorry, I do waffle, but yeah, moving on. Here are some of the companies I hope to invest in AC Milan and my general dreams for AC Milan, and how I hope for them to do well. Most importantly, in my opinion, on the pitch. So that's what this investment is for. But buying the best possible players to Italy, best possible coaches, managers, and things like that to Italian football, as well as Celtic, is what my goals include. Anyway, moving on, and I'd love to show as a dyslexic person how my dyslexic creativity can benefit Italian football and Celtic, as well as other neuro-diverse communities. So I'd love to hear if you're from a neuro-diverse background, like you're dyslexic or ADHD, especially like what sort of things do you think that you have as strengths? I'd love for you to comment that as well in the comment section. So I welcome all your comments, and here goes. So number 11, I would love for the Adani group from India to invest in AC Milan, and again, I hope it'll be a mutual benefit, as I say, with all the companies, but especially for Adani and Alibaba, because I'd love to support Asian entrepreneurs and maybe some African companies or individuals like Aliko Dangote. Apologies if I pronounced the name wrong. Could invest, and hopefully that would then. I often say nowadays it would be cool to invest to improve relations between Italians and the Black diaspora, African diaspora, and also the Asian diaspora. So I'd love to see Asian investors as well and African investors, and hopefully that will improve relations and they'll show what they can do, and hopefully Italians will see what the Black diaspora or even Asians or other groups can do, and hopefully that will improve relations, and they can practice together and have academies in their countries, which will hopefully open up a cultural exchange. So I'd love to hear what you think about that quirky idea. Number 12. Being mad myself, dare I say, I know it's not a politically correct term, but I love for AC Milan to do stuff to do with mental health awareness, as well as other charitable work, anti-bullying, and I know a lot of people talk about being positive about mental health. So I think it'd be great if AC Milan as a club did that and talked about how to help people with mental health, to talk about their problems or just help them generally, and discuss ways to help work with mental health charities and things like that to hopefully improve the life for people with mental health problems as well as other disabilities, which hopefully won't get in the way of the success on the pitch, but actually, if anything, will help the club to do even better. Number 13, I'd love to know from AC Milan fans why they're called the Devils. But one quirky idea I had was just for a bit of fun, like the Devil's Cup, or tournaments, the Devil's tournaments and leagues and things like that, which would be just a bit of a laugh where Man United and AC Milan and either other teams nickname the Devils, like even Belgium, Belgian teams, the national team, the Belgian national team, in Manchester itself, in in or at Old Trafford or wherever Manchester's based. Apparently they're not even based in the city, but anyway, in Manchester or wherever, and in also in Milan itself, the Milan Stadium, and also with Belgian teams in Belgium perhaps as well, and maybe even Inter Milan could be invited as well, perhaps, as their nickname is the Snake as well. But yeah, just for a bit of fun. Number 14. Again, I suppose a lot of these videos are a bit of fun and my dreams about how I hope for town teams in Celtic to do better. But I think it'd be cool if AC Milan solved problems facing the world as well. And again, hopefully it will benefit the club in the long term for its like PR and things like that, and hopefully attracting fans around the world. But hopefully they'll solve problems like poverty and crime and corruption and things like that. Number 15, I'd love to hear from my fellow Italian fans, in this case Milan fans, AC Milan fans, about what you would love to see the club achieve in the future, whether that's in the short term or the long term, like long term dreams and goals for the club. Sorry, excuse me. But yeah, so I'd love to hear what you think and what your short-term dreams or goals would be for the club, and like long-term as well. Sorry. Number 16. Again, I think it'd be great to have like a committee or think tank or brainstorm, cooperative, or whatever you call it, which would look. My cousin described it as a mastermind, where like people come together and like discuss ideas or help to motivate or mentor each other, things like that. So it'd be great if the Milan family, AC Milan family, came together around the world and discussed what they think would benefit the club, like whether that's how to get more fans, how to get more investment, sponsorship deals, and all sorts of things like that, or scouting, or whatever else they think will benefit the club, having academies and sports clubs in different countries, for instance, and things like that. Number 17, I'd love for AC Milan to have billions and billions of pounds and invest it. I know it's a sort of selfish dream, but it is one dream of mine. Number 18, I hope, again, at the same time, I think, I often say this, but sorry for repeating myself again, but I know I'm very repetitive. I love to also listen to or read suggestions about how I can be not too repetitive, but due to my patterns and alliterations and things like that included, I would love to see what the club can do to make the world a better place, how we can do like football for good, how we can work with Celtic and even other Italian clubs and other clubs around the world, even from South America or Asia or Africa, and talk about how we can like help to tackle poverty and other problems in the world. And at the same time, hopefully, again, it'll be a mutual benefit. Hopefully, they'll be able to attract talent from Argentina, Brazil, and all over the Americas, as well as also I hope that having better, more. I was going to say better, more, better, better. Sorry, more and better, I suppose. Young Italian players, like developing those as well. So I'd love to have a balance between buying the best possible players and also developing the youth, which will be better for the future, which will actually save the club money in terms of buying players. Number 19, I'd love for AC Milan to also support, I know I often say this, but software developers, indigenous software developers from Africa and Australasia, and also possibly be the first club to have like academies and sports clubs for indigenous people from across the Americas, like indigenous Brazilians, like getting more of those in football. Ironically, I think for a country that loves football, the indigenous people in Brazil are not, I don't think they're as much involved as, or if some of them probably aren't even involved at all. Apparently some of them don't even know what football or soccer is, even though their country loves football. I saw like David Beckham do a documentary. This was a long time ago, so things might have changed, but he had to explain what football was to someone from Brazil, which I think is quite ironic. But indigenous communities probably aren't included or involved as much. So I know it's probably a very big country and with a huge population, but yeah, it'd be great if they got indigenous people from Brazil and Argentina, Peru, Uruguay, Paraguay, and places like that, and again to a mutual benefit, and supports clubs and academies in those countries. And number 20, again, like I think it'd be great if they helped African and Asian nations in like STEM, and also helped indigenous people from the Americas, Native Americans, Canadians, Native Canadians, Mexicans, and others across the Americas, indigenous people, like helping them to be empowered in areas which would empower them, like in STEM or education generally, training in business, giving them political support and rights, and giving them a voice and things like that, and listening to maybe even interviewing people if they could from indigenous communities across the Americas and having them on the channel, and yeah, giving them a voice and things like that. So anyway, I hope I didn't wabble too much, and I am out. Peace and out.